good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Thank you for joining me this fine Monday evening, because I'm in Scotland and it's night time here, although the sun's just went down. So tonight we are going to be joined by a guest, the amazing Andrew Feeney, or Andrew's Journey, and tonight he is going to be sharing his journey with us. He will maybe be about 10 minutes, I would think, around about that time. Hopefully he will be backstage shortly and my wife will kick him into the live stream. Before we do that, can I just ask everybody that has just joined if you wouldn't mind liking this live stream, and also if you don't mind to share it. I know sharing's one of these funny ones, you know, but please like and share. Into all the mental health groups, the recovery groups, the drug groups and stuff. This is a video that is really suited for the men's mental health groups. It's suited for these type of groups. So if you're a member of these groups, please share it and we'll maybe try and help some more people that sadly really do need it. Hello Louise, hello Nicola, hello Stephen, hello William. William says, done mate. Thank you for that, William. Yeah, so please share it far and wide. I am Paul Bogie. I am the proud author of Heroin to Hero, a book that I wrote about my life. I'm donating all the profits to homelessness in Scotland. I've raised £13,000 so far. I used to be a heroin addict. I turned my life around to become a Scots Guardsman, and now I'm visiting prisons and schools across Scotland, helping educate people about the mind, mostly, and how I broke away from my addictions and sorted my mental health. I've just came right out of a meeting with a politician down south, so thank you very much to Graham for setting that up. Went really well. You know, I know I've stopped talking about it on my social media. It went really well, and you know, I'm very, very pleased. And I've been invited back on because there wasn't enough time. Those of you that know me, I can talk for Scotland, so there wasn't enough time in the stream, but I've been invited back to share more of my journey and my story. Please keep liking and sharing. There's more people coming in as I speak. I can see you all coming in. Hello, everyone. And thank you for joining me. I really do appreciate it. Please remember and like this live stream. And if you don't mind, to share it as well. Hello, David. Hello, Robbie. Hello, Lorraine. Hello, everyone. Even you shy people that are not going to comment, right? Hello to you as well. No way. Hello, Trevor. Trevor, I'm sorry, right? I need to do this. Before you put Andrew in, doll, just give me a minute, because the one and only Trevor Colt is in the house. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you haven't, why not? It's free. Sorry, Trevor. I couldn't resist. Thank you for joining me, mate. Everybody in the chat, if you like straight talkers, a bit like myself, right? Trevor is amazing at straight talking. He tells it like it is, and I love him for that. So I've put him up on the screen there. He's got a crown on, sporting a crown. Everybody go and subscribe to Trevor Colt's YouTube as well. I'm sure Trevor would appreciate it, and so would I. Right, we're going to get on. I'm going to put a trigger warning in before I start. It's going to be talks of addiction, mental health issues, and suicide and depression. It's going to get quite dark for probably a good portion of tonight, so I want to put the trigger warning in there. Andrew will be watching backstage. If Andrew wants to swear, Andrew, by all means, swear away, right? Tonight's about you and sharing your story with the world, all right? So whenever my wife is ready, she will bring Andrew in, and then I'll shut up and drink my cup.
Oh no, it's me. I've not had hair and makeup in yet. Hair and makeup's not been in. What you doing to me? actually, I've kind of. Can you see me, or can you only see half of me?
I can only see half of you.
Right. Because you wanted me to do it live on my page as well, and me being completely hopeless with technology, what I've done is I've got my phone sitting behind the tablet, and I've not used the tablet before to go live, and the camera's there in the corner. So I noticed last other week when I was live with you and Malky, that on my phone, because I had it orientated on portrait, that I had black lines at the side of me because the video format on this is different. See, I don't know what I'm doing, but it sounds like I know what I'm talking about, if you get what I mean.
Just wing it. Just wing it, mate.
Fake it until you make it. That's kind of the rule of things, isn't it?
Aye, definitely is. I sent the link over to Malky. I don't know. I've said to my wife, if Malky shows up, just to bring him into the live stream. But obviously, like last week, tonight's made about you. Malky shared the story last week. So, but at the end of the video, the end of the live stream, if Malky's here, I'll let the two of you do the talking like the last time, and I'll just sit here with my mouth shut.
Well, I don't know how good the battery on the tablet is. I don't know if we can go the same lengths as last time.
Well, we'll see how we go, mate.
So what I've done is I've got me live sitting behind the tablet with this live, and Debbie's dropped the link for this live onto that live. And I'll encourage people in that live to subscribe to this live and future lives, not just here on Facebook, but also on Paul's YouTube and other social media platform channels. He's getting all of this. I'll get the one-handed, right?
Aye, sorry, mate. I forgot you've got a duff hander now.
Hey, there's nothing wrong. I've got my missus to button my collar cuffs and pull my drawers up for me. At least I only need one hand to shake a snake. So,
have you got a knitting needle?
No, chopsticks actually. I've got a set of chopsticks that are about 7-year-old, and one of them's been well, it's got cheese to the tip of it now.
Hello, Hugo. Hello, David. Thanks for joining on YouTube, David. Well done. Somebody listened to me, Andrew. Somebody listened. They're on YouTube.
See, I did start a YouTube channel, and I even done a tickety talky day and whatnot. But see, to be honest, I started with Facebook, and I'm dyslexic, dyslexia rules, KO. And when something works for me, I like that. Something that works for me, I'll tend to stick to that. Like my phone, I got that a couple of years ago, and I don't update the software. See, all these updates, I just decline them because I like things the way they are. It's set the way that I like it. So, this is I don't know how to do this StreamYard thing where you get onto Facebook and onto YouTube and different platforms simultaneously. So I'm happy at being a dinosaur.
Andrew, we've got a very first LinkedIn user in the house. LinkedIn.
Yay!
That's a big message. Paul, I have to check with, what was that? Oh, yeah, and check out. But I will be back. I have my own personal experiences that I would like to share about my family, veterans, that have travelled a similar path, but reversed and passed discharge from the forces. Keep the great work up with a wee guardsman emoji. Thank you, LinkedIn user. Thank you for joining me. Right, sorry, Andrew. Right, I'm going to shut up. I'm going to drink the rest of my cup of tea. Like I said before, hello, positive vibes. Swear if you want, share as much or as little as you want. It's entirely up to you. I know you're quite comfortable talking and sharing anyway. So, over to you.
Well, it's been a wee while since I've done this, to be honest. £27. I'll say it for you, Paul.
Thank you.
Valentine's Day last year or this year. I don't know how much. So I've not done this in a wee while. And I've had a bit of a shitty couple of weeks, as you can see. I'm an addict in recovery, and I've got my processes to keep me clean, keep me sober, keep me dry, and the missus running it beside us. So it sounds like slugs are getting scraped off the flare as you try and run with them sliders on. But I've had a difficult couple of weeks. I don't know where to look now because there's two of them. I've had a difficult couple of weeks, so bear with me. I broke my horn in work, and we've just recently moved from Glasgow in the Central Belt to the Highlands of Scotland. Although it is beautiful here, being kind of stuck in the house with limited capabilities has been playing on me a wee bit. Even last week, I was in the shops and all I could see was the booze running about me. It was coming in, and I've not had that in a wee while. But I'm here to kind of tell why I'm in this position that I'm in now and how I came to be in this position. So a few years back, after losing quite a few members of my family in a considerable short space of time, I'd started turning to drugs and alcohol. The term coined to it is to self-medicate. But it was more along the lines I didn't want to think and I didn't want to feel and I didn't want to fucking hurt, to be as plain and simple as I can. I wasn't getting to see my kids on a regular basis. I had a long split up with a relationship with their mum, and then I met somebody, fell in love with her, and realised that I was actually dragging her down, and that I knew that, not that I knew my path was on a spiral, I knew that things were out of my control, and I knew that I didn't really have the fight in me to put the brakes on what was going on at that point in time. I was justifying it with, it's only a drink, it's only a couple of lines of gear. Everybody takes gear at the weekend. But Friday, Saturday, Sunday started becoming Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And then it just built and built and built. And before long, I'd split up with that person. And then a couple of years later, lost members of family, and I'd been drinking and snorting and whatever the fuck else in the middle for a couple of years at that point. And losing the family members, it was a hammer driving home that I was here to be punished. I'd been actively trying to take my own life during this period. I've struggled with my mental health. I was a young boy, and during addiction and during that dark period, I didn't want to be here, and I would sporadically attempt my life, but I didn't get to go because I was here to be punished. Then my coke and booze had turned to crack. I had a lot of stress, a lot of strain running about me. There's a bit that I won't go into, but I was then told I lost a baby, and with losing family members, to me it felt like every fucking other month I was losing somebody that I loved, somebody that I cared about, or in some cases people that I depended on growing up in life. My rocks, they were all disappearing. I was crumbling, and I took a massive overdose. I then came to in the hospital, hooked up to whatever. And when the blood work came back a couple of days later, they let me home. So I went home. I kind of lied to them as well as to why I'd taken the overdose. And I completely forgot up until the other day. I was reminded by somebody that I'd been on the bridge of the M8 motorway as well. During that time, I'd signed myself into, after I got out of hospital, I was resigned on the fact that I wasn't staying here. I wanted it. I'd managed, in my book, my eyes, I'd managed it, and the paramedics stopped me doing what I wanted to do. I didn't want to be here. To me, they had no right in stopping me doing what I wanted. My mind was set, and I went home. And the first thing I done when I went home was hit the off sales on the way by. I knew I had more gear in the house, so went home, as they say, filled myself with Dutch courage or fucking cowards fucking fluids, and I did. I looked online, I Googled, I tried looking for help, and I couldn't find it. I found the number for Samaritans. It ended up stupid o'clock in the morning, and all I got was an English woman with, I don't know, the words, "I feel so sorry for you." That's so sad. They just keep ringing in my head because that's what she says. And it was fucking hopeless at that point. It done more damage than good. I didn't want people to feel sorry for me. In a way, I wanted somebody to tell me what a fucking useless piece of scumbag bastard I'd become, rather than try and pacify me with, I don't know, bullshit. So my plan was I had a gun in the house and I was going to pull that trigger. And I was sitting there and I was greeting. And my dog, that when I got him, I ended up with nobody running about me. I ended up on my own, just me and the dog and my addiction. But my addiction didn't allow me to acknowledge sometimes that I had the dog. I was more interested in my next rock. I wasn't hard up. I had my own business. So I wasn't robbing for rocks. I had money in abundance. But I'd be more interested in smoking the next rock than remembering that the dog was in the other room and it was forgot about for a long time. And yeah, bastard.
Take your time, mate. In a hurry.
It's got a wee dick's lying there in front of the fire.
Share this live out, folks. It's important. It's important to share. Like what Andrew's doing now. Sharing is caring.
The dog that I forgot about, he jumped up and right now he's on the flare. He's in front of the log fire roasting his nuts. While he still has them, getting cut off. Much as I love them, they're getting fucking cut off. But a dog's place is, it's an animal at the end of the day. He's a staffy. And a dog's place is at its master's feet. No on the couch where I see your dog all the time, Paul. A dog's place should be by your side. And the dog, it wasn't allowed up. It wasn't allowed up. Jumped up and he, no clue what was in my hand. No clue what was in my hand, but he could feel what was in my heart. He could feel the pain that was going through. And he stopped me. It was him putting his head into me, carrying in, and it made me stop and think. And at the time, I was a father of 5. I'm a father of 7 now. But at the time, I was a father of 5, and in my mind was, my wains are better off without me. I'm a poison to them. I'm a cancer. I'm just going to set the wrong example. Your dad's supposed to say, this is how you live life, give you a good example to live by. And at that point in time, I was a junkie. I was an addict. I was a shadow of me. I wasn't a man. I wasn't Andrew. I wasn't the person I was brought up to be. I wasn't the morals that were instilled in me. I was something else. I was somebody else. And when the dogs made me stop and think, and then I don't know why, in all the fucking hours leading up to it, that I was trying to find some helpline, somebody to talk to, somebody to offload onto, that I didn't think to myself about the NHS at our service. And I phoned them and explained to the person on the phone how I was feeling, and that I'd just been at a hospital and I was sitting there with a gun. And they weren't concerned about the fact I was sitting there with a gun. They were concerned that I was willing to use that on myself, and told me to get myself to a doctor's surgery that operates at ours, and somebody there would speak to me, and that's what I done. And I thought that I was going to get help. what led me up to that point is something very, very fucking simple, but it's deadly, and it's deadly throughout men throughout the world. I thought it was a Glasgow thing. I thought it was a west coast of Scotland thing. But since talking, I found that it's a global thing. That men are conditioned that we should be and we shouldn't be. And I know there's a lot of woke folk going on now about the single white male is this and that and the next thing. Not everyone is get privileged that these fucking standards are set against. Some of these are crumbling, and some of these are conditioned where you're not allowed to greet, you're not allowed to feel. You show emotion, you're a fucking wimp. I'm 6 foot tall, I'm 18 stone. Sometimes I've got a fair bit of muscle to me. I'm covered in tattoos with a beard. And I challenge any fucking man to stand in front of me and tell me I'm a lesser man because I show my emotions and I let my emotions out. Because bottling my emotions up, put a gun in my mouth. Bottling my emotions up, put a crack pipe to my lips. Bottling everything up, it caused me to take an overdose. It caused me to spend most of my adolescence cutting myself and hiding it. It caused me to try hanging myself because I wasn't allowed to speak about what was going on. So I started speaking and I signed myself into hospital and I got into Stop Hill and I thought I was going to get help. But when this shirt wearing, loafer wearing Specky Wankstein is the only way to put it, that condescending fucking whatever. The only real consultation, if you'll put it that way, I had was with this, the one guy's the only one that stands out, the nurse that had whatever admitted me, done the paperwork when I went there myself in the taxi, and 2 other staff members. And when they asked me what's going on in my head and what the voices are saying and where these voices are coming from, and he told me to be honest about what was going on in my head at that minute in time. And at that minute in time, I had the movie Joker that came out, that laugh in that movie, that was a constant feature in my head. And when I was happy biting the nose off of somebody's face, that's a laugh that I heard, and that's a laugh that I'd laugh when people would say you're fucking sick. But it wasn't sick to me, it was funny. It's fucking sick. But I told him at that minute in time what my head was saying, and what my head was saying is that you want to kneel down in front of me, you're lucky I'm not stomping on your fucking head and jumping on it until it's nothing but a pool of blood. And that scared him. And instead of me getting help, they then tried to medicate me. And what they were trying to medicate me was with the equivalent of 8 Valium. And if they'd have told me that, I'd have told them, you're going to need to give me another couple of hundred in Topirat just for me to get a buzz. Because that's been chewing on fucking hornfies of Valium to try and get me down off the crack high. But they thought that was going to medicate me. The combination of what I says to that man and the fact that they couldn't get me to sleep, I'd sleep a couple of hours a day and I'd be up all fucking night because my head just wouldn't stop. It wouldn't stop. And there was a voice inside going, you think you're going to stop me from killing you? You've got another thing coming. We're going to get another opportunity. We're going to have this fucking dance again. You're not going to stop me living my life. Whatever. But a couple of days later, I got took in for what I thought was another consultation, just to be told that I was being discharged, permanently discharged for the NHS mental health services as dangerous and unstable. Too dangerous and unstable to treat. So in other words, I was too dangerous and unstable to be held within a mental health facility on a voluntary basis. I was to be put into the street where I would be a danger to myself immediately. Because I was there because I was actively trying to take my own life and I didn't want to follow through it. I wanted to follow through it, but I didn't want to put my problems onto my wings 5 times over. I wasn't solving my issues. If I succeeded, I wasn't solving a single one of my issues. I was getting my issues onto my wings and then giving them their own issues on top of that, along with that Daddy not loved me enough to stay. Was that the reason that Daddy wanted to take his life? So I decided to fight, and me deciding to fight and me deciding to bear all and be honest, I was permanently, still to this day, I'm permanently discharged from the NHS mental health services. If I was to try and, if Debbie was to walk into a room and I was stringing myself up, police would come out, ambulance would come out, they'd take me to hospital, And as soon as they read my notes, they'd say to the boys, you need to take him away from here. He's too dangerous for us to treat. So I'm not allowed help in an NHS facility under voluntary basis, but I'm allowed to roam the streets, and I'm allowed to gain a PVG as well. I've got PVG, but I can't get help because I'm mental, I'm fucking unstable and dangerous. But I can get PVG and go and work with other people and help other people. And I've tried to get that taken away. I've went to the doctors and says, look, this is where I'm at now. I've done all this work to help myself, and I've done all this work to help other people, but I'm still not allowed help. They refer me to third sector charitable organisations. So the only people I'm allowed help for is me and people like me. But I'm okay with that. I've got my methods. So I was discharged and just flung the table up in the air and walked it. Went straight to the off sales and then blacked it. Don't remember much after that. But in the back end of that, my 16-year-old son had come to live with me and refused to leave. They'd make me endless cups of tea. But I tried it. I sobered up. I got off the rocks. Here and there with coke. Struggling. But I was getting there. And in between all the struggles, all the successes, all the fails, to me, there's no such thing as abstinence and recovery. You just don't stop one day and that's it. You don't touch it again. There's falls, there's drops, there's whatever the fuck you want to call it, falling off the wagon, falling off the horse. It doesn't matter if you've failed 1,000 times. What matters is you've got up 1,001 times, because it's that last time that leaves you fucking stunning. And in between all that, I was sitting with a friend that I called an uncle and had told him I was going for a walk, and I tried my life again that night. So the next time I says to him that I was going for a walk, he says, I'm putting my jacket on, I'm coming with you. But I'd put a post on my Facebook page saying that I was going to walk from Glasgow to Land's End with my dog, because I was sick and tired of posting meaningless shite on Facebook that amounted to absolutely fuck all but attention seeking. Everybody puts posts on Facebook about mental health at that point in time, but it wasn't posts to get mental health message across. It was posts for likes. The more likes you got, the more popular post was. I couldn't give a fuck about how many people like my posts. I couldn't give a fuck about how many people follow my page. What I give a fuck about is that one person that I make a positive impact on. My page could have nobody that goes on it except one person, one random individual that sees where I started and where I'm at now, and takes for that and runs with that and takes that strength and makes it their own and has their own story. I didn't start this page so that I could sit on a regular basis and talk about mental health. Fuck, I even became I was even a radio chat show host. Andrew's Journey, coming in your ears. A radio chat show host, for fuck's sake. It's not that if it was proper Glaswegian, they wouldn't be able to understand a word that was coming out my mouth, because it would all be that fast and garbled together that they wouldn't have a clue how to keep up with. But when I was younger, my gran taught me to speak properly and carry myself within certain situations. So I was prepared for when I got a shot to go on the radio. But it was never what it was to be. It was me going for a walk with my dog to get that monkey off my shoulder for the last time, to show myself that even if I don't make it there, I think about a year before it, I had a heart attack. It's just a wee one. I was going to the gym far too much. It wasn't drugs. And it showed that I had a leaking heart valve. 20 years ago, my left leg was paralysed. I still have muscle atrophy for that. I've got no cartilage left in my left knee. But I was going to go for a walk from Glasgow to Land's End. With my heart condition, my gammy leg, my fucking addiction on my shoulder, and my head full of broken bottles. But I was going to go for this walk because it wasn't the destination of the walk that mattered. It was a commitment and taking that first step. Even if, I mean, the first night I left the Clyde side at BBC and STV studios in the afternoon, and that night set up camp in Châtellerault Country Park outside Larkhall in Hamilton. That's how far I made it. With people will say full battle weight, I'll say the fucking kitchen sink in my Bergen, because I didn't know what to take with me in the first thing, and I took far too much. 2 litres of iron brew and everything in my bag. Nah. But I made it to Wigan, and I think 11 or 13 days before my heart put me in hospital, and I had to come home. But it hadn't just helped me. My dog had to get home before we hit the borders. He had to get back home at Abington, because being English, you know, he'd been chewing at his paws because of the salt in the road, and his pads had cracked, so he had to get sent home, and that broke my fucking heart. But I made it to Wigan before I get sent home, and the people that had came to meet me. What the fuck? I'm just a guy from Glasgow. Why do you want to come and meet me? Well, I'm not doing nothing. You helped me so much. It's like, I've not done nothing to help you. And I struggled with it. I did when I came back. And when I came back, I fell again. I fell a few times again since then. But I've never stopped getting back up. Never stopped getting back up. And since for then, you know, for November 2019, you know, I'm no one for keeping track of numbers of people that have helped or anything like that. But fuck me. Honestly. The self-worth that I've gained for non-pain heals. My pain's healed other people. People who have lost people to suicide that didn't understand, just hearing it for their loved one's perspective, really. It's helped them. We had people getting referred there for courts. I had firearms markers on me. I was a drug dealer. And I had police coming through my door, and now I've got the courts referring people to me for support, because the courts are now, they're learning as well for people like me that just because somebody's in front of you and they're a crack addict that's committed X, Y, and Z crimes, they're starting to ask why, no what. They're starting to ask why Andrew's in the dock in this position, in the condition that he's in, with the life choices that he's making. Why is Andrew making these life choices? Why is Andrew here in this position? Rather than going, what's Andrew charged with? Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of sheriffs out there that have got a fucking being up on it about the fact that people are getting let off with lesser charges or lesser convictions or whatever, because they still done that. I'm sorry, me here, sober, clean, cup of tea in my hand, fucking wits about me. I wouldn't do half the shite I'd done when I was fucked up. I wouldn't do half the shite I've done when I'm being drunk, and drink's legal. So they want to have a look at that before they start going, oh, Mr. Feeney was intoxicated. Well, Mr. Feeney punched his fists at a wall and screamed, come ahead, you fucking dafty. Mr. Feeney was able to buy that substance legally at the counter. There's a million and one ways of thinking about it, but to me, I don't drink anymore. I'll not take drugs, but it's not because what the drugs done to me. It's because what I done on the drugs. It's what I done on the alcohol. It didn't do it to me. I done it to me, because at the end of the day, it's mindset. There's been a million times where I've had a drink and I've been all right. I've been full of disco biscuits and gear and had the night of my life. But mindset changes a lot. And to go for determined to get the fuck out of here and stop putting everybody through a life of shite just because I'm hurting and I can't say it. No, I say it. And I don't just say it to get it off my chest. I say it to encourage other men to come forward. And like I say, I don't give a shit if you're 7.5 foot tall. You want to stand in front of me and tell me I'm less of a man because I agree. I'll guarantee you're fucking greeting when I'm sinking my teeth into your plums. But aye.
It's amazing though, and it's so true. You know, it's important. Obviously, like you said earlier, it's that whole perception. We're not allowed to fucking talk. You know, man up, fucking get on with it. Stop being a little bitch, fucking whimpering and talking about your mental health and stuff. You know, sort it out. And it's when we're encouraged to do that, like we are in society now, you know, look what happens. People are fucking committing suicide all over the fucking shop, especially during lockdown.
I will see during lockdown where the Scottish Government came out and says there's actually a reduction in suicides. I was thinking to myself, what fucking chart are you looking at? Because people that would never admit a fucking that they'd anything going on, they still hadn't admitted they'd anything going on. They'd fucking strung themselves up. And nobody could believe it because he was never going to be the one that strung himself up. He was always a fucking life and soul. Look behind that mask and ask why is that person always got to be higher than high? Why have they always got to be full of beans? Because see, the minute they stop, the demons creep in and that's when they're in a corner and they're contemplating getting off of this place.
Yeah. And that's something we have a problem with in society, the people that didn't understand addiction. They didn't understand the reasons behind why people take fucking drugs in the first place. And we know, as there's everybody watching that's fucking battled with addiction in life, we know taking fucking drugs helps us to escape our reality. And when we stop taking the drugs, the reality fucking hits. And sometimes the reality is fucking no very nice. And if the reality is no very nice, the first thing we want to do is get more drugs to fucking escape it. And it's a constant and it's like that's why when we talk about lived experience, Andrew, that's why it's fucking important. That's why it's the most important than anybody sitting with a fucking shirt and tie on that's read about addiction or mental health out of a fucking book, right? No disrespect, because some of them do genuinely try to help, but that's what's in my vocabulary all the time. Lived experience is what matters. It's what matters. And then
at the end of the day, these people with their PhDs or these people with their doctorates, these people with their honours, these people with their qualifications, these people are learning for a book. And the information in that, I just noticed my nails look dirty. The information on that book has to be gleaned from somewhere. And where they get that information from is case studies. You see it on the adverts in the telly all the time. L'Oreal's got this new shampoo that 74%, 224 women agree his or her a better shine. The reason that they use the numbers like 224 is to manipulate the percentage of statistic they get in a positive result in the back end of it. So they're taking 200 and odd people and asking them, do you like this? And 74% of them are saying aye, but they're only asked 224 people. How many people are product testing for them? And they're taking that small percentile of the review and using that as the written theory. And it's the same with mental health case studies. If you actually look, there's not very many mental health case studies being done on particular like bipolar and anxiety disorders. Disorders is a fucking stupid thing to say. But there's no proper case studies being done on them in longevity with schizophrenia and all the rest of it. It's a box tick and then an educated guess. And I'm sorry, but if you're going to tell me that I'm fucked up, and the best thing is that every single doctor, it doesn't matter where you are, every single one of them are going to say it. that you've got a chemical imbalance in your brain. I don't remember getting the fucking chemical levels in my brain tested. I've had right splitting sore headaches, and I've had them reoccurring there years. And a year or so ago, they were excruciating. I couldn't function. I'd be talking and I'd be going, The pain was that much. So went to doctor. Doctor sent me to hospital, and I got a lumbar puncture where they test your spinal fluid. They've still never tested the fucking chemical levels in my brain to tell me how they know that I've got a chemical imbalance in my brain. When do they test these chemicals? What is the natural level of these chemicals? And how can you prescribe me a drug to balance off these chemicals when you haven't took a test result to see where that imbalance is? Is it dopamine? Is it serotonin? Or is it just that you're going to make money by prescribing me these fucking pills? And I'm going to be devoid of feeling, devoid of intellect, devoid of emotion. And by the way, you're an addict and you're coming off of this. Here, take this, because we can tax this. And you can stay on this for the rest of your life if it makes you comfortable. I don't want to be comfortable. I want to have my fucking scruples about me. I know that the last couple of weeks I've not done great. I've not been doing very well at all. And I messaged you earlier on and says I had cabin fever. And that basically what it boils down to is that I'm used to, if I'm not working, I've got my processes to keep my mind healthy and to keep my mind away from drugs and alcohol. And because of this, I can't go walking. I can't go and climb a mountain. I can't do active things. I can't go out on my motorbike because this is my clutch on. There's a lot of things that I can't do because of a horn. But if I go out and walk and push it, I can go out for a walk. But if I fall, I'll go for being, I've already been off work 3 weeks now. I'll go to being off work even longer and even longer. And it's that knock-on effect. So I'm balancing having a shitty period or just going, fuck it, it doesn't matter, I'll take that chance. So I'm all right, make sure it's I'm all right. I've got my family to think about. If I end up off work for 6 months because I'm all right, I'm going for a walk and I fuck my horn even more, then that's a knock-on effect to my family that I'm then sitting going, you're a complete and utter tosser. You're to blame for this. And then it starts backfiring on you. You've got to have processes, and mine is a lot of the time walk, it's talk. But I'm in the Highlands, I don't have my talking groups. So I've not had that release. I've not been able to open up. I've not been able to show that wee bit of emotion. I know I've got my missus, but you'll be the same, Paul. There's so much you'll tell your missus, and then there's pointless shite that there's no need telling anybody that you'll tell somebody else. But that's the shite you're getting off your chest because it makes you feel better. And it's stupid, I know, but because of that, I've had to try and find other ways. And then the other day, Saturday, I was going to go for a walk around an estate. No, a scheme. Estates up here in the Highlands are different. They're like big bits of land where totties and things grow. There's no schemes, no lockbacks. They hear you daft. But I was going for a walk around the Bran estate with my pal on Saturday, and I've got in the motor, and from here to where I was going for a walk, it's about 50 odd 60 miles drive. And Highland turns, that's local, so don't think I'm hard done by with that. Skye's only a half-hour drive from my front door. The Isle of Skye, no be Skye down the road that does the score bits. But I was going to meet my pal, and as I got out the kind of bendy bit of the road onto the straight, my motor was just vibrating as if I had a flat tyre. So stopped to have a look, no flat tyre, it's a prop shaft, it's a four-wheel drive I've got. And usually if I was under a lot of stress and strain like I have been recently, the motor breaking down on me would have been it'd have been a grit your teeth and punch fuck at the steering wheel kind of moment. How dare you, I don't need this to know, no for you, you're supposed to be reliable. But I didn't. I popped onto a live and I had a flask of coffee with me, so I was drinking my coffee and just reflecting where I'd broke down. I'd broke down in the middle of a valley that's no changed. The ice caps that were on top of it fucking melted. And just looking out and putting things in perspective, that even maybe a year and a half ago, a year ago, I would have reacted to that situation differently because I don't have my coping mechanisms here. And a couple of days before it, I'm in the shop to buy bread and milk, and all I can see, I know that a bottle of Bucky is £8.99. Not been able to tell you in enough years how much it is for a bottle of Bucky. But I know now for the last couple of weeks and last week being in the shop and being able to see fuck all but the drink in front of me. Bottle of Bucky up here's £8.99. Didn't buy a bottle. Didn't buy a bottle, but that there, it's like, fuck you. Right there, you're not looking past me. And it's, if it'd been a while ago and I didn't recognise these triggers and I didn't know that I've been a lot further down, and I've got back up and I've got the strength to look at that bottle and walk out with my milk and my bread, my fags. And I did, and I'm sitting there and I'm staying alive, and we'd already drew the winners for the tickets for your show, and I forgot Lorna's second name, Lorna Simpson and Yvonne Paul, they're who won the tickets for your show. And instead of dwelling on what's went wrong, my fucking motor's broke down again. I've got a broken horn, I'm off on the sick, I'm not exactly making wages. The part that I've had a look, the part that I need's a few £100. But it's like, fuck it. It doesn't matter. End of the day, we have everything we need in the house. I've got a decent enough boss that's going to allow me to borrow one of the hire cars to go to the hospital to get this seen to. There's nothing that I actually need. Nothing's falling apart. I've not lost nothing. Nobody's hurt. And I'm still fucking sober. And at the same time, I'm still helping people. And I mean, like getting the tickets away for your show, I don't know the people's circumstances, but if it's somebody that actually needs, if you get what I mean, that message, they want to go and see that show, but they don't have the means, because right now, I mean, gas, electricity, fucking, I'm surprised they're not charging us for breathing air. I think the next one is an oxygen tax, Paul, because see, to be honest, see, looking at how much you work, how much you earn, and how much the government claims off you, and then not just how much the government claims off your wages, but then claims off you as you spend what you've earned. They've already taken a third of what you've earned. But they're then, I mean, the price of fuel is actually, it's probably £1.15 a litre of petrol and around about £1.18 to £1.20 a litre of diesel. That is the price of fuel with a decent rate of tax on it, a fair rate of tax on it. You give that fuel to the UK government, and I'm sorry, I know, to me there's no UK, there is no such thing as a United Kingdom, because Scotland doesn't want to be part of it, Ireland doesn't want to be part of it. Well, Ireland's got fucking different tax rules for buying off us and selling us. I mean, they're supposed to be part of it. And Wales doesn't want to be part of it. England is a sinking ship that's dragging us all down, and we're paying £2 at the pumps. On top of that, then there's the price of fucking food going up through the roof. There's the price of everything. The government subsidises electricity companies, so that when it comes time for them putting out the price of how much it is for your electricity, gas or whatever, it's the government that's dictating that. It doesn't cost as much to live as we're being charged to live. And we're being charged that to cover somebody else's fuck-ups that's entitled. But all the while that's happening, the country is going to fuck, it's going to pop, because people can't afford to live. No survive. People survived for generations. Look at Glasgow and Edinburgh in the 70s, 80s and 90s. It was, I mean, when Debbie was born, I'm a wee bit older than my missus. I'm 10 years of difference there. But see that 10 years of difference in being born in the 80s to being born in the 90s, and what you grew up and what you witnessed. We grew up through poverty, whereas people in the 90s didn't really see as much of it. But the people born in the 60s, they had it even fucking worse. But we've always survived. We're at a point now where we shouldn't need to survive. There's enough in the world, and I don't mean enough wealth and enough money. I mean, we put that much shite in a fucking bin because we have an abundance of what we need, more than we actually need it. But when it comes to the actual things that matter, the things that are important, the powers that be are the ones that are conditioning us so that we stay here while they live their lives up there. And if we get past that point of beating ourselves up and judging the man next to us because of what they've gone through or what they've been through, then we're going to end up standing in a stronger point, and we'll stand there together. And hopefully in generations to come, that if mental health and addiction, instead of being there's that fucking nut job along the street at it again, there's that mad junkie out robbing again. If we can get rid of these stigmas, if we can break through the barriers, then generations to come will be sitting in a lot better position. But I know it's just something fucking. I don't watch the news or read newspapers or whatever, but the price that people are paying to fucking live now, that's driving mental health, and it's going to drive a lot of addiction. Poverty is where addiction and mental health comes from.
It's just greedy, corrupt wankers, mate. You know, these people that fucking make all the decisions in our life, right? Like taxes and fucking how much food costs. These politicians sitting down in fucking London, you know, with their fucking 4 houses, 5 holidays a year, 10 cars, right? Fucking, you know, and it's just, that's a whole fucking other podcast, that is, because it's just, you know.
That's a podcast you can't have me on. I try and stay away from politics. I'll go as far as the cost of living. But my view on politicians is if you give one a Viagra, they'll just get taller because they're a prick to start with.
Yeah, I get, Andrew, I'm the same. See, since I started social media, mate, like, I have purposely stuck away from politics and religion, right? Now, I just had a meeting with a politician down in England just before I came on live, right? And it was amazing. She fully supports me and stuff, as some of them do, you know. But if I'm asked to speak about politics, there isn't very much positivity that's going to come out my mouth, because I'm 43. I grew up, you know, in the 80s.
Is that all you're up, 43? I thought you were in your 50s. I exposed my top bald spot when I done that.
I've got a walnut. Right, questions. We've got about 8 minutes left, right? Well, what's my wife laughing at? Right, we've got about 8 minutes left. Has anybody got any questions that they want to ask Andrew before we go? We've got 8 minutes. Come on. Ask the questions now or forever hold your wish.
I'm just looking at the LinkedIn user saying your fellow Englishman stands by you. Let me just make it clear, I have nothing against the English when they're south of the border. My wife's family actually came these shores from Normandy in 1066 for the Battle of Hastings to back up the English and bolster their forces, being granted land and title in Leicestershire. So, see, I've got nothing against them whatsoever. I'm just breeding them out like we were taught today when I was a boy. All speechless, never seen that.
Kim's what I care how much your mug was.
I don't know. It says, hello, handsome. Deb, was it only £1? £1, £1.
And we have matching ones, so mine says
where do I get my positivity and strength from? The strongest people on this planet, we Scottish mammies. My granny, my Auntie Marie, my Auntie Ruby, my Kathy, and Mama. Scottish women are what gave me the strength that's in me now. Because be it 12 bags of shopping and the one fucking finger on the way back for the bus stop, or that fight never to get in, not to take any shite, and to keep getting back up. I think it was all the doings as a boy, on the amount of times, belt, and you get back up for it. Aye, Scottish women, you've helped so much, Paul, in getting these people involved. It shows it's possible even more. I've stopped drinking since February, but failed a few times, so I'm off it now. My addiction was alcohol. There's no such thing as abstinence in recovery. This is my replacement, because that hand movement, it doesn't alleviate. It's like smoking a fag. it's motor skill and it sticks. It's muscle memory. So replace the booze. My unhealthy replacement for booze is Iron Brew. But a case of 24 Iron Brew, and I actually feel myself boat up after it. Or endless cups of tea. What was the point in your journey when you felt I can do this? If I was to be honest with you, I'll be honest, I'm still not sure that I can. I just know that I am. There's no sitting here now, even though to me the last couple of weeks have been nothing more than a challenge. Life's going to always hand you challenges, and everything happens for a reason, good and bad. You come to a fork in the road, there's nobody standing beside you. It's you that picks that path. And there's no many times in life where you get as clear cut a sign as booze sitting in front of you. You come to a junction in the road and there's no pole that says this direction to wherever or this direction to wherever. It's just a fork in the road and you choose a path blindly. Then you're omitted by some of the blame there of what path you've chosen. But in life, you know the path that you're choosing before you choose it. You might not choose it willingly. It might be a case of fuck it. It might be self-destruction. You might already be a couple of bottles of wine down and you go, do you know what? I'm fucking smoking that rock because this ain't doing it no more. You sit at that fork and you choose. But I won't say that I know I'll never fall again. The same as I'll not say I'll never go to jail again. Because never say never. I says enough times being an addict that I was going to clean myself up and I never done it. It wasn't until I stopped saying it that I started putting actions before words. And I won't say that I'll never, because I don't know what's around the corner. I don't know what's next in store. All I know is that next challenge in front of me, I'll do my fucking utmost to come out the back end of it. And I don't know that I can do it, but I'm going to fucking do it. You've come a long way. You're an inspiration. Keep up the good work. God bless you and keep strong. I'm just a granny's boy that's trying to do what he was brought up to do. Obviously, there was no social media when I was a boy. And my plan was to go to the army, get my licenses, come out and be a long distance driver. I seen the previous question was what made me choose to move to the Highlands. As my plan as a boy was always army, licenses, get married, have a family, long distance driving, and build a cabin in the countryside in the Highlands. I've went a bit ruined that, but I've still go to the cottage in the Highlands. I went a different path, but I'm still going. And I'm actually a wee bit disappointed. I'm like that far away from 40-year-old, and I've noticed a couple wrinkles and I'm fixated on them. And obviously I'm going bald at
You've
sides.
got a fucking full heat of hair, you fanny. That's a
look,
fucking full heat of hair.
Full disclosure, look, I'm receding. Right? And the missus went, that's only because you're older than me. I've got wrinkles that I'm going bald. Where's my grey hairs? I've got 7 wains. Look, who can see a grey? And there's no just for men anywhere near it. My greys are here. They're in my beard with my gingers. But that far away from 40, and the missus is taking a stab at my wrinkles. But hey, my missus was only 31.
Age happens to the best of us, mate.
Aye. With age comes wisdom, and dodgy knees, and dodgy eyesight, and
Bad
sleeping
backs.
longer, bad backs, going for a piss and giving it a shake, putting it away, and poof, that's still to come. I killed old Eric on still game.
Aye, well, I do dribble sometimes myself when I'm going to the toilet, and I think it's definitely an age thing. Like I did, I
well,
swear,
see-
I shook it. I shook it.
All my days, I've been good at getting into the toilet, pitch black, standing there, splash. All you hear is water. See, recently I've been getting into the toilet at night, standing there. A toilet roll. I've missed.
Yeah.
That is sprinkler. I cleaned it this morning because you moaned at me last night. I'm getting narrated for the sides here.
Oh, who's this? Wait a minute. Anne Conway, Perry Dribblers.
Pair of dribblers, aye. If you sprinkle when you tinkle, be as sweet and wipe the seat. Could be worse. It could be falling through in bed still.
Aye. Aye, everybody's laughing. Which is
Yeah,
good. Because
Aye, the
laughter's
person that asked why I moved to the Highlands. Last year I walked the NC 500. I don't raise money with what I do. I do what I do to raise awareness. And what I do to raise awareness is go on what I call wee walks. Glasgow to Land's End, round the full of the Isle of Bute in one day. It sounds like the start of a joke, but going to John O'Groats with a man and his horse, and then walking the NC 500 while walking 25 Scottish mountains in between. I walk and talk, shite and dribble as I go to raise awareness for men's mental health and baby loss. And last year I walked the NC 500 and one of my support crew, one of my Highland support crew, he is a recovery driver for the garage that I now work for, and says to me that a job had came up in the garage with prospects of developing other skills. I'll get their licenses. It came with a beautiful 3-bedroom cottage. I came up to see, and now my family live here with me. The Scottish Highlands to me, I was brought up Catholic. I've got my rosaries tattooed around me, but I'm no pious, holier than thou sort of person. I've got my faith, and I always felt like with a heart condition in the leg and things, pushing myself up mountains kind of brought me that wee bit closer to God, if you will, being in the wilderness with nothing but my berg and my survival gear and my wits about me. It brought me closer to, brings me closer to being whole. I'm no, if you see me, I'm for something to eat with the missus, you see everybody at all the tables is like that. Phones on their horn, stop at traffic lights, their phones in their face. That you can send me a message on the Monday and I'll not see your message until Thursday because I've put my phone in the kitchen on Monday, or I've went to my bed Sunday night and Debbie's put it in the kitchen and I've no registered. Social, the whole digital thing to me is, it's good in a sense because it lets people like me and Paul get our message across, but at the same time it's damaging. It's becoming where we live our lives rather than something that can reflect how we live our lives. There's a lot of people that a lot of people that live their lives digitally rather than stopping and looking at the beauty that's round about them.
I'm addicted, Andrew. I'm addicted to it.
No, I've seen that, the amount of lives that pop up. See, when I pick up my phone and I look at my Facebook notifications, if I've been off the phone for a couple of days, there's 40 Paul Bolgate live posts.
Aye.
But at the end of the day, you're running up to, just now you're plugging your show, that in the back end of that is going to help a lot of people. It doesn't necessarily mean the people that are there watching it. I actually seen, when I was a boy, I seen Train Spotting in the Citizens Theatre in Glasgow. I don't know how the fuck they let me into it. I think I was only about 10-year-old or something. And that was bastard and traumatising, that play at that age. But maybe like Train Spotting, somebody will go and see that show and they'll take away value for it that they can then reflect onto somebody they love that's gone through addiction or mental health or a combination of both, or just come away with a different perspective on what their brother's gone through. instead of going, oh, I'm fucking sick of him. He's never done tanning hooses and stealing motors, and it's all to get that fucking junk. It's that people think it's to get the drugs. It's not to get the drugs. The drugs aren't the point. It's the emotion that's the point. It's that fucking numbing that's the point. It's being numb that's the addiction. It's no the drug of choice that's the addiction. It's the intended feeling. But I've not half rabbited a lot of shite tonight.
So's Marna in the comments, didn't worry about it. Marna's slaving a lot of shit, I know. Nah, Andrew, like, I love, again, I done a live view a couple of weeks ago, mate. I love sitting listening to you sharing your story
watching me try and fix my baldy bit.
Checking your hair. Just thanks for coming on, mate, because sharing is caring, and the more people like you and I that speak up about mental health and bringing awareness and stuff, it is definitely helping people. You'll never know who you're helping. I'll never know who I'm helping. But the fact of the matter is, we put ourselves out there as men that are happy to fucking cry on social media if that arises, you know, and I've done it as well, you know, and you've done it, and it's fucking alright to do it. And if you've got, you know, there isn't a problem with it. For society there is, but for us doing what we're trying to do to make people understand that it's all right to fucking no be all right, and it's all right to cry, no just.
I post it's okay not to be okay, but when it's spoken in Scottish, it's all right not to be all right.
Aye, but it's like even like in sort of, you know, the comfort of your own home, nobody have camera in your face on social media and stuff, but just even then to offload emotions, be having a greet, it can actually be a fucking a positive thing, because bottling it up, it's
just
fucking so destructive.
Aye.
Yeah, so destructive. Right, Andrew, I ran over an hour. That's because you were talking so much, mate.
Don't know what you're talking about. I've not been able to get a fucking word in the edgewise for you. All you've done is bang on about your cup of tea all night long. It's like, Paul, come on, 27 quid.
That's what I'm going for now. Right,
I'm actually tanking here. My cup's empty.
These are top up. I'll get you back on again anyway. I didn't know what happened to Malky. I did say to him that he could come over and jump in if he wants. But I think with this channel, obviously I'm just starting to grow it. So I've got people like yourself and people like Malky, and I've got other people in that recovery sector. And I think in time, what would be quite good is to get a few of us on the same live. I'll do the least talking, right? And
who's tying you down? Is Stephanie gagging you?
Aye,
Stephanie going to be in the background with a gag, holding it with her foot in the back of your baldy napper.
Aye, exactly. But I think what we could do, right, is I'll get questions pre the live stream, 12 or 24 questions for the people that are on, and then that'll give us a starting point, and you can answer about something to do with mental health. Malky can answer something to do with fucking methadone. I can answer something to do with making a cup of tea, and whoever else is on, and we'll just fucking, you know, and we'll just take it from there. But I'll leave you in peace. Go and enjoy your cup of tea, because that's what I'm going to do.
The doctors ask what the voices in my head says. See, as you were saying that you'll get questions and we'll do this and we'll do that. The cocky or whatever you want to call him, one in my head says, when are we all getting bald naked and chaining ourselves to the gates at Holyrood? It's not happening. So I don't care how hot it is. Things are too small to start with for that.
Aye. No, that's definitely not happening. So didn't be
Jimmy Boyle
sings a freedom style.
No.
I'm not doing it. Right,
no,
Andrew.
No. My kit stays on.
Aye, me too. I'll do a lot of things, but my fucking kit's, my wife's like that and all. Aye, your kit does fucking
I know
on.
you do a lot of things. Mind, I've been through that book. I've seen the French Maid. No spoilers for people, but if you want to see Paul in a French Maid outfit, buy the book Heroine to Hero. That better be in the play, by the way. Better be that wee skinny squaddy beside his billet like that.
Fuck all to do with me. Sorry, that's all, Tony. Right, mate. Thank you very much. Obviously, I've still got you on. I'll have you on social media and stuff, but like going forward and stuff, didn't be surprised in a few weeks or run up to the fringe. I'm messaging you saying, Andrew, do you fancy coming back on for a chin wag?
No worries. What we need to do though is we definitely need to get the subtitles sorted. We need somebody that's Scottish in the background that's transcripting them, because some of them are fucking horrendous.
No, we definitely do. Right, thank you very much, mate. I'm about to stick the kettle on. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us.
It's not that. I was hoping showing an empty cup and you asking how much a cup was. No, that my missus would put a game down. She's on a game, and would have made me another cup of tea.
I'm not on my game, I'm on the chat.
Oh, she's actually on the live.
I've been keeping in touch with comments and things all night. So.
What do you mean all night? The live's been on for an hour and 10 minutes. Right, we're away to have a domestic. I know. Oh, cheese spaghetti. Biscuits and cheese for my bishop.
Right.
I'm not sleeping on the couch. That couch is far too wee. I was sleeping in the spare bed.
Right. Mate,
right, my man.
Thank you very much, mate. Right. Have a good night, bro. Cheers now, mate. Bye-bye.
Right, what button is it here now?